Hey everyone, this is going to be a pilot episode, so to speak, of a potential podcast video series. I'm not even sure what to do with this, but basically, a really good friend of mine, Ace, and I were having a very good conversation about Final Fantasy XI, which led me into a roundabout way of wanting to start recording our conversations about it. And this video or audio that you're about to listen to is our technically second conversation. And I have some of the time frames mixed up. You'll hear us talking about time, but we eventually figure it all out, I promise you. Just since it was like 16 years or so ago, like some of the memory is a little faded, but I got the key points of remembering the Final Fantasy XI beta, and not too many people, from what I've seen, have had comments about it or anything like that, so I hope you enjoy, and if you do like it, please let me know in the comments, thumbs ups, share it, like all that fun stuff, so that way I know. We have pre-recorded several episodes, and if it goes really well, I'm going to pop it up on Libsyn and all those things. But at the end of all of this, once all the pre-recorded stuff comes up, we're going to have a pretty cool announcement involving Final Fantasy XI. So if you're interested, please keep listening. Thank you. This is the main thing that I wanted to discuss with you. I played a lot of Final Fantasy XI. 11 is my absolute favorite Final Fantasy game. Controversial. Yeah. Everyone hates me for it, but I loved it.
I'm sure that people who play 11 would agree with you. I mean,
they will never consider it their favorite.
I would. I would say 11. I like 10 and 11.
Right.
I mean, for single player, 10. But if I had to, if we're talking multiplayer, I would pick 11.
So,
and I like 14, but I like 11 better, especially during certain eras of its life.
So here's the way that I want to do this one. I'm going to start from the beginning of when I started playing.
Oh man!
And then you join in as I go through this history, and then we'll just go back and forth sharing some stories of it. Okay.
All right.
So
that's fine.
I requested the beta for Final Fantasy XI, and
that's going way back.
I got in.
When did the beta come out?
I don't remember a date. I know that it was really hot out, so I want to say sometime in the summer.
My earliest memory of Final Fantasy XI was you telling me that Final Fantasy XI was going to be an online game.
Yep.
Like
Ultima.
I think we were playing that at the time.
We were.
I had it in my mind when you told me this. I was thinking of Midgar as it is in Final Fantasy VII, but online.
Nothing like that. Nope.
So you can cross the oceans in your little airship.
Nope.
Find an island, get on it, build a house, because we were playing Ultima, and you can do that in Ultima. And I thought these features were
universal.
Were universal in every online game, but things work a little bit differently in 11. Some of you probably know this, but things work a bit differently in every aspect, almost.
I think I was like 15 or something. Like, I couldn't even get my permit at the time.
Oh, man.
I was like 14 or 15. So, like, I got the beta. I was super hyped. I installed it on my computer at the time. And the Play Online screen popped up, but it was black. And I couldn't click on anything. So I sent the ticket. And I'm like, what's wrong? They're like, oh, you need a better computer. It can't run it.
Wow.
This all happened in the same day of, like, when they gave me the code. And I called our friend Tim. And I was like, Tim, I need a computer. I have these savings for this car because I wanted to get a car as soon as I turned 16. And I was like, but Final Fantasy 11 is more important than a car. And I remember him trying to talk me out of it. I was like, no, dude, you don't understand. This is Final Fantasy 11. I was like, I need your help. I can't carry it all by myself. So we went to Radio Shack downtown. And they were like, we don't sell computers that good. And I was like, well, where do I get a computer this good? He's like, go to the Gateway store. And I was like, what's a Gateway store? He's like, you know those computers Gateway? They opened up a store down 22. You can go there. You can buy it. They have really good computers.
I forgot all about that store,
and I was like, okay, Tim, we got to find a way to get to this Gateway store. Now, to put that into perspective, from where we were at to there is like 8 miles. So it was like, we got to get there.
So that's 8 miles carrying a computer box. That's all the way back all the way there and back. So that's 16 miles total.
That was the plan. We walked. I feel so bad for this, but it's funny. We walked the whole way there, and like we were perfectly fine with it, right? It took
16 miles at a 15-minute mile pace is around 3 hours.
It took us about 2 hours to get there. Right, maybe a little bit.
You were walking fast then.
I was
15-minute miles. Think of it as now this is approximate. You know, people's gaits are different, but just walking normally at a I would say maybe how do you explain
the pace?
Just having your normal walk is about. Like putting your foot all the way out, like not taking baby steps, you know, just like a little bit more than shoulder width apart with forward, I would guess, for your gait. That's probably a 15-minute mile for you.
Like
for most people. I'm not an expert.
It took
quote me.
It took about 2 hours, if not more, to get to the Gateway store. Tim was pissed at me, but being the good friend that he is, he put up with it. Like, I'm never gonna forget it.
Wait, what did you need Tim for?
To help me carry the computer back.
Got you. You hand it off.
It was
that is a good friend. Holy shit.
So we got there. We got to the Gateway store.
This is the first I'm hearing of this. So I was not involved in the adventure in any way. I didn't even know what happened. I don't even know what I was doing at the time, but
I got there and I slammed the paper on the countertop. You know how I do with countertops, and when I want something, I slammed it down on the countertop. I was like, I need this computer that can run this easily. Like, I want to make sure that even after updates, I'll be able to play this game. And the guy picked it up, looked at it, sighed. He's like, you don't even need a good computer for this. And I was like, well, then sell me a good computer. I was like, I have money for a car. I'll buy whatever you want. I don't care at this point. Like, I'm begging this dude to sell me the best computer he got. Like, I was like, come on, man. Like, I'm in a hurry. Time's ticking. People are leveling up. Like, I gotta.
Now let's look at the basic minimum requirements for vanilla Final Fantasy 11.
Now remember, it was lower then because the beta didn't have Zealot. So.
Wait, say that again because you cut out.
It didn't have the first expansion, so the requirements were actually lower in the beta than on the full release. For, like, storage and all that. So,
yeah.
Like, the dude was so unimpressed with me and, like, how panicked I was and how fast I was like, no, man, like, this has got to happen. Like, I'm trying to make things work. The guy, like, walked back. I'm never going to forget it. He walked to the back. He brought out, like, 5 boxes stacked up on top of each other because it was the monitor, it was the sound system, it was the tower itself, it was the accessories, all kinds of stuff. And Tim just looked at me, he's like, we're not carrying all of this back. Like, just, you got the money, buy a cab. And I was like, so determined to spend all my money on the computer, but no money on anything else.
Yeah, why did you say that before you got there? See what I'm saying? What? Like, you just made it harder for yourself.
I was.
We're not even talking about healing people anymore. We're talking about just making it easier.
I was Final Fantasy 11 blind, Ace. I'm sorry. Like, I had
you wanted to make sure you had the most money you could possibly have when you got there. I get that.
I had I think $4,000 saved at the time, but I was still trying to be cheap on everything. But
computer back? How much was a computer back then?
I think that one was $1,200.
Oh well, you were good then.
That's not the point, Ace. I was trying to be cheap, but waste all my money at the same time. So we got...
Well, they're saying i3. This is as of March 2016, so it's not...
It's hard to say. I know that I needed a Pentium 4 minimum.
Minimum
was a Pentium 4. But yeah, I got it. He convinced me to get a cab. We rode the cab back, unloaded it, set it all up, only to find that the speakers the dude sell me didn't work because I needed a sound block or something to plug in first. And I was like, you know what this means? He was like, yeah, we're going to Radio Shack. And I was like, you know it. So I started the download because I had to download the game. This was when we had dial-up still, dude.
Oh yeah,
dial-up. So
there's no way I could ever forget how slow dial-up was.
Started the
even download. then when the internet wasn't that sophisticated.
Yep. Well,
it was still a few minutes.
The beta was
longer than your computer booting up.
Yes. The download for the Play Online launcher took about 13 hours. It was an overnight thing. And I didn't factor in that downloading the game and patching the game would take a long time because I used the disc for Ultima. So I was like, oh, it'll only take 2 hours. So we set everything up. We started the download in for the game through Play Online. And we went to go get the speakers from Radio Shack, and that takes an hour. When we got back, it said 1% downloaded, and I was like, I'm so sorry, all of this was a waste. In the time it's gonna take for this to work, we could have done anything, right?
Literally anything.
I felt so bad for wasting his time, but he was a good friend about it. He helped me set up the new speakers, and that's when the Play Online music.
I mean, you set the computer up.
Well, it was downloading the game.
Well, you didn't need him to carry it because you got a cab.
No,
so really, I mean,
we carried the speakers back and forth because I bought the 4.1 surround sound speakers for my computer at the time with the big ass 10-pound or I was 15-pound subwoofer. I wasted all my money that I saved for years on that computer.
It's kind of weird that you didn't ask somebody who was actually interested in Final Fantasy. I'm sure I would have helped out just to see the game, but even though I wouldn't have. But
in that time period, he was hanging out at my house every moment of every day. Right?
Yeah.
So it was that time period. And we got it back, we set it all up.
Wait, what year was this again?
Whenever the beta was. I don't remember.
Oh.
It was early.
Let's see where
I want to say 2001, 2002. I don't remember. But yeah, I set it all up. I was really disappointed. I was wasting time. So then, after that...
Oh, man. North American beta tests.
When was it?
Looks like it was 2003.
2003? I don't know why I thought that it was earlier than that.
But... Yeah, I thought it was too. I remember playing it long before, over Terrence's house, when he had it. Because he went to the Gateway store.
And got we all went to the Gateway store.
Yeah, I went to the Gateway store, but that was my sister bought a computer. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, well, I know that I wasn't in school anymore at the time for Final Fantasy 11, and that's when I worked overnight. And Tim was crashing at my place at the time, so I was like, I need you to do me a favor, make sure this is working at all times, and like, I'll buy you a whole bunch of food or something. So, like, I know that he crashed at my place because when I got home the next morning, like, he looked so dead tired. He was like, I wanted to sleep, but the bells, the music, the bells just kept me up, and I couldn't figure out how to turn it down, and I was scared to unplug the speakers because it would, like, shut your computer off. So,
I went through the same thing.
I was like, dude, it's like, it's analog. Like, you just unplugged it and you would have been fine, or like turn the volume down. I didn't want to touch anything because of how important it is to you. I was like, dude, like, thank you so much. I'll credit something in this game to you if they allow me to. It didn't allow me to. Like, I was gonna name a weapon after him or something.
Yeah, you can't even name your chocobo the way you want it.
Yep.
You got to choose from a list.
So,
predetermined names.
Like, after all of that happened, it
gave you no wiggle room for anything, really.
It didn't. So, like,
okay, here's the PC requirements, by the way. I found it.
Oh, okay.
Pentium 3.
I had a Pentium 4, so
Windows 98, Millennium Edition 2000 or XP, DirectX 8.1, 32 megabyte Direct 3D compatible AGP video card, 128 megabytes of RAM, a CD-ROM drive, of course.
Yeah.
5 gigabytes free hard drive space. 5 gigabytes.
Yep.
Wow. That's less than some free-to-play games.
Yep.
Internet connection, 56K or greater. 56K was probably no, DSL I think was the standard.
I didn't have DSL at the time. I know I had dial-up because I had the free AOL.
I was fortunate enough to start with DSL Comcast when I got into this, but
yeah. So, like, all right, all of that happened, and when I got home from work, so, like, I worked a 9-hour shift, and I started the download at like 2 p.m. on Saturday, right? So that means like around noon on Sunday was when I saw it, and it was only like 50% downloaded.
Oh man.
And I was panicking because I was like, the bar wasn't moving. I was like, is it just taking a long time? Like, I was legitimately getting like anxiety about this, and I don't know why I was so passionate about it at the time.
Oh, believe you me, I felt the same way.
So yeah, I was really passionate about it because I wanted to start in the beta. I wanted to be able to say I played Final Fantasy XI in the beta. I don't remember.
Final Fantasy, it says here that it was released March 23rd, 2004, which can't be right. That can't be right.
I don't know. I don't remember the year or anything like that.
It may have been the release for the PlayStation 2 version, which is the version that I came in on.
Man,
when I finally owned it.
Late.
Yeah. I want to say I do have a similar story.
Right.
But
we'll get to that when that time frame comes. So I'm going to try and stay chronological.
Go for it.
So a few days passed and it finally installed, and my computer was a furnace. Like I abused this brand new computer with installing this game, and I logged in.
800 megahertz, everyone.
I was like making my character. I was so hype. Tim was still crashing at my place. He was like, "Well, now that this quest is done, I'm gonna go see my family." And I was like thinking back, like I feel like I still owe this dude. So I made my character. My very first character, my beta test character, was named Tristan. I named him after the character from Mystic Quest.
So the game came out. The game came out in 2002. So what I'm thinking of is maybe I'm thinking of the PS2 version.
Possibly.
But it says
what?
Hold on, I'm reading through this old
article. I'll continue the story.
Yeah.
So I sat down, I made my character, I made Tristan. I I'm wandering around aimlessly, and like I couldn't figure out what to do. So I'm like talking to every NPC, and I'm thinking it's treated like a normal RPG. Like you find quests and stuff. I went outside. I got murdered by every creature that existed. I tried like online searches, like search.com, how to play Final Fantasy 11 beta, and there wasn't anything. The forums were just full of people who were also confused.
Sorry, that was the Japan release was in 2002.
Okay. What was ours? Still don't know?
I'm reading through it. Hold on.
So, like,
keep going.
I was lost, and I remember calling Tim. I was like, Tim, where can I find a game guide for this? He was like, I'm getting really tired of this game. I was like, seriously, like, where can I find one? He was like, he told me some website. I don't remember. It was like Amazon before Amazon was a thing. And it was like, in 2 weeks, you can get... Oh, I think the beta test was 2 weeks early, right? But, because I remember the Brady Games book came out 2 weeks after when I was in the beta testing, like, playing it. So I was like, I need that book. Like, how can I get that book early? And I was, like, desperate. Because, like, none of us knew what to do. Like, no one in the beta from who I interacted with understood how to play the game. And I was like trying to figure it out.
I guess I was right then. I guess it was the beta test was in 2000.
I don't remember the year. I remember it was hot out. That's all I remember. But
check back with IGN for more on Final Fantasy 11 as we lead into its suspected winter 2003 American release. And it came out in March. So, yeah. So the beta test was before that.
The beta test must have been a lot earlier than that, because I guess it was in July or something? Because it was really hot out, but I know that we only had like 2 weeks to play.
Yeah, it says Final Fantasy 11 released March 23rd, 2004, and then it says here the beta test was in 2003. So I don't know. I can't remember when I played it anymore.
I know it was,
but hot. I do know that I know I played it long before I got it.
Right.
I got it in 2004.
Well, like, I couldn't figure it out.
It must have come out in 2003.
Yep. So yeah, like I'm wandering around, I'm dying all the time, losing my experience, losing I just couldn't figure anything out. And like Tim came over that afternoon and he was like, "What does check mean?" And I was like, "I don't know." He was like, "Try checking a monster." And that's when it showed like decent challenge, etc. And it was like tough and too tough. And I was like, oh, now I understand. I got to do that versus every monster, including the ones that look exactly like it, because bees were killing me, but then I could kill some bees. You know what I'm talking about? Like right outside of Bastock.
Yeah.
So, it didn't factor in my mind that one bee could be stronger than another bee.
Yeah, I found that out pretty quickly.
But I didn't know about the check system or anything like that. So I was like, okay. And
I knew going in, because I'd read some articles in Game Informer, I believe I was reading at the time, that people were getting beat by the earliest monsters, and that there was an emphasis on teamwork. So I understood from the start that I should check all the monsters. I started with damage dealing classes. I didn't start with magic. I didn't get into magic until much later into the game's life. So I never really had a problem in the beginning unless it was against a lizard with poison. Or petrification, which I didn't know that all you had to do was turn around.
My beta character was a warrior, and I was really frustrated that I couldn't heal myself and that potions cost too much. But I would grind and sell crystals on the auction house because people in the chat were like, yeah, sell crystals on the auction house. For a stack, you could get like 6,000 gold or gil, and then you can like do whatever you want with it. So I kept selling crystals and buying potions because like the chat at the time, people didn't use things like Skype back then. They used the in-game chat. So you would constantly see conversations going around. So people would share information like, yeah, this is how you make money. This is how you get Signet. This is what Signet does. Like, we would actively share things in the open chat. So I knew what Signet was early on and that it allowed you to get crystals. So like I sold crystals, I was farming and stuff, and then like I would just get potions, run outside, get beat up a whole bunch, heal myself with potions, sell the crystal, like that constant loop. And it took me about a week to hit level 11. And then I was in the Fumatoids, just punching crabs, and I'll never forget it. It's one of the
what?
The
Say it again?
Fumatoids, the like where the crabs are in South Gustaberg.
Oh, you mean the fumaroles? Yeah, I remember that.
Whatever. Yeah, I forgot the name.
Yeah, I remember Bass. We both came up in Bastock,
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that place like the back of my freaking hand, man.
I was there.
That's right near Dangrif Wadi. It's all the way up north. You go north. You're heading north to south. It runs north to south. You're in south. It goes up, and then you move. Yeah, you move, and there's up and left,
and
up and left. Kind of almost in the center is up and left is like Dangrif Wadi, and right would be North Gustaberg.
North Gustaberg, yep. And then further north would be Konstach and then Dune.
Yeah.
But
and
like
to the east from there is like the mines. The which mines?
Grelberg? Not Grelberg. Palborough.
Yeah, there you go.
Palborough. But yeah, okay, so like I'm in this area and then this girl runs up, like this Mithra, and she was like, "Why are you hitting that with a dagger when you're a warrior?" And I'm like, "'Cause it says that I'm good with every weapon, so I'm going to level up every weapon as I level up." And she was like, "How much experience are you getting?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like 25. And they're like, "You're an idiot." And then they like started sending me tells like, "Okay, at level 10 you go to Volcrum Dunes and you join parties, and then you get like 200 per monster, and you kill the monsters in like a minute."
You should have said, "No, you're an idiot. I'm already following the meta."
I didn't know meta.
I'm decades behind the meta. I'm decades ahead of the meta. But you're the idiot.
I didn't know what was going on. Well, like,
you should have taken the spice, and you would have known.
Well, like, I didn't know anything about that. So, like, she and her name was Kat, right? And it turns out her real life name was Kat. Like, we became really good friends really quick. So like,
oh man, I can't even remember the first people that I remember the first person that resurrected me. And as of like really, I don't know. I think around when Abbasia came out, that person was still playing, but I couldn't. I think he was AFK because people were AFK in Juno.
Yeah.
I never really talked to him that much, but I knew it was him. I was like, that's him, but he's AFK. I've seen him every now and then, but his name was INX. He was a white mage, black mage. I thought it was the coolest. Came and healed me in the Highlands.
I can't forget her because she's involved in a lot of Final Fantasy XI stories.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through all of that. She like showed me how to get to Dunes, how to get Signet there, how to set home point there. And I was like, well, how do I get back for potions? And she's like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, the white mage will heal you, and then, you just do the damage and you tank.
She's really saying this?
Huh?
She's really calling you an idiot?
Yeah, she called me an idiot a lot. Because,
wow. Toxic.
There was another...
First, not toxic at all. Like, everyone was very helpful.
That was just her personality. But, like, I didn't know that, like, amongst the beta testers, they were going to a secondary party, like, website that had just started, which was Killing Ifrit. Like, Killing Ifrit started in beta, right? And the forum started anyway. And that's where, like, all of the, like, hardcore players were sharing information of, like, how to progress and, like, how to party and stuff. Meanwhile, scrubs like me were going to the official Final Fantasy forums. And, like, nothing of use was being shared there. So she, like, exposed me to Killing Ifrit and, like, all that stuff.
The play online chat was a good source of information for me.
It was always people trying to cyber. So...
I've never run into that.
I avoided that.
I mean, I think, well, I'm still trying to get the release date here. Now they're saying there's so many dates. I don't understand why it's so hard to just say this came out at this time, this month, this day, and this year. I'm getting all these dates.
All I know is it was hot when the beta test was, and it was cold when the game was released. That's all I can tell you. And there was like a month in between. That's all I can tell you from my experience.
It's saying October 28, 2003. And then September 17, 2004, which I know is wrong.
I don't know. It was hot in the beta, and then there was like a month, and then it was cold. But, so, like, she was teaching me how to do all that.
This is right. Okay, the PC version was released in North America on October 28, 2003.
Okay.
So that would be your cold.
Yep.
So you played the beta when it was still warm earlier that month.
I don't think it was that month, because there was like a month in between.
Okay, well then in the summer then.
Yeah.
I came in when the PlayStation 2 version came out, which was March 23rd, 2004. It was only a few months after the game was released. I did play it when it came out because Terrence had it.
Right.
And that's what led me to getting it on PlayStation 2, because I had a PlayStation 2 and I was like, okay, it was much easier to set up, but I still had the same problems that you did.
Yep. But like, okay, so after I met her and she like taught me how to do all of that, we're going through, we had a system, like she would log on at like 5 p.m. I would log on at 5 p.m. We would queue up together. We would go through as much as we could. And that went really well through the beta. And we were like, okay, which official server are you going to join? Because near the end, they were like, we got a message stating like, once you, like, get the game, we're adding this expansion with these advanced jobs, and we're raising the level cap because the level cap in the beta was level 50. Or at least I believe it was. I don't recall anyone getting past that. In fact, I don't remember anyone...
It was 50 until Xylart. When I came in, it was 75.
I don't remember anyone getting past, like, level 30 in the beta that I was in anyway. Like, I think level 30 or 32 was, like, the highest level person I saw.
Yeah, what I heard was people were just idle, not idle, but once they got to 50, it was just the most you had to look forward to was like Saramugu, Champlain, and Battaglia Downs. Those were the highest level places.
Like, well, in the beta, like you
didn't get Zarkabar and Busadine until Xylart, I believe. I wasn't playing during that time, but I'm pretty sure that those areas didn't exist yet.
I don't remember.
It was just Battaglia Downs, Saramugu, Champlain, and there was an area in between that.
Well,
I think.
I know that after Dunes, we had to go into
the Garliage?
The junk, like the forest area with the mushrooms. That was.
Oh yeah. Were you talking about Rolandberry? Not Rolandberry.
Not Rolandberry. The other one. Not Rolandberry. Not.
Yeah, it's a pass. Something pass.
I don't know why I'm forgetting the name of it, but like that's
it's the other way to get to Battaglia Downs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember the name of it.
An area that is not not well utilized anymore. Yeah. Like it never was really. Like when I came into the game, I had never even into that area. Forget what the
in the beta, that's where you went to.
Was it Ronfar Pass? No.
Ronfar? No.
No, it's not Ronfar Pass. Rangumant Pass.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah, that's the name of it. Rangumant Pass is the area.
That was where you had to go to level after Dunes in the beta, right?
It's got goblins.
You would level up off of the mushrooms that begin with an EX or something like that. Like what was?
Oh wait, no, there's no.
I can't remember the name of it. I don't want to look it up either. But anyway,
I don't remember.
I got stuck in that area because the mushrooms that you leveled up off of would one-shot you, and I was a warrior, so I had to tank. And I was just getting one-shot by the mushrooms that you had to level up against.
There's no mushrooms in Rangumant Pass, though.
I don't think
I know what you're talking about.
It's like the forest.
The Crawler's Nest had... No, wait.
No, Crawler's Nest wasn't there yet.
All right, screw this. I'm going to look it up. Fungars. Fungar. I'm going to look up all the areas that Fungars are in.
It was like a slightly more challenging Dunes area. Anyway, so we progressed and we had the opportunity to pick our server, like discuss picking our server. And then I remember, like, friending her on AIM Messenger, or MSN Messenger, or one of them. And, like, we were like, okay, so let's go to this server. You didn't get to keep your character, right? So Tristan died there, then and there.
Was it Ordell's Cave? No.
No.
Boyata Tree?
No.
Zeta? No,
that's near Juno.
Rolling Bear is the only place that I can think of.
It's not connected to it. It's like you have to pass through it. There's tigers, treants.
Okay, you're definitely talking about Ronco Mart Pass, but there's no mushrooms there.
They may have removed them. Because I remember being murdered by...
Jugner Forest.
Jugner? I think that's it. That rings a bell.
That's it. That is it. That's definitely it. It's Jugner Forest. I forgot about that area. And that was absolutely thinking of, but I kept calling it Ron Far Pass for some reason.
That's where you leveled up after Dunes.
And that's really early because I can't, when it was released on PlayStation, Xylart was already out for a few months.
Yeah.
So
that changed everything.
After Dunes, you go to the jungle and then Garlige, and
the jungle wasn't there. Like, it didn't exist.
No, I'm saying like for me when I came in, this was the standard.
The game pretty much ended at Juno. Like,
yeah, and the surrounding areas. Yeah, I remember people. Like there was nothing. There was no content after that. There weren't even any H&Ms.
Yep. So
at
like
that time, which is weird because those were like those were the myths. Those were the horror stories and all that.
Oh,
when I started.
We'll get to Notorious Monsters. Cause okay, so like the thing ended and we had a month, right? So when I wasn't working in the afternoons, I would pop on MSN or AIM and talk to her, and then we would pop onto the forums and be like, try to recruit people. We're like, we're gonna start a link shell, which is that game's version of a guild, and we're like, this is what we want to accomplish. This is what we want to do. We're not going to be too hardcore about it, but, like, we want to do these things. Like, there's going to be new classes coming out, and, like, we want to make sure that we rush and get them, right? Like, we were organizing for a whole month, and that's when we made, Nation. Like, that was the origin of that link shell, like...
Yeah, if I had saved up a little bit more, I would have probably played with you guys, but...
Yeah.
I took the easy way out, basically. I saved up. I got a PlayStation 2, and I don't regret it. I mean, I probably wouldn't have played Final Fantasy X if I had just kept going and saved for a computer, because that was my original plan. I wanted to save for a computer and get Ultima, but it didn't turn out that way.
Yep.
I didn't apply myself as far as saving that much for so long.
So
yeah.
After all that, like, release day came along, actually,
if I had a do-over, I would definitely save the computer.
I'm gonna end this recording clip at this portion because I feel like the beta story was long enough.
Yeah, I wasn't in the beta, so I really don't have any to that.
So I'm gonna end it here. And
other than the approximate time frame that this was going on, that was all I could do for the. I didn't even know there was a beta, to be honest.
Right. So that was my introductory to 11, and then the birth of my link shell, and my first encounter, and then we'll come back with like the beginning adventure of the like default 11.